Hey guys, so starting out, you definitely want to make sure that you're using T-pins basically to hold down your frontal so that when you're plucking it, it is not going anywhere and it's just going to be nice and tight. So I'm just taking this wig brush and I'm just brushing out the frontal. The hair is already wet because I did go ahead and bleach the knots off camera. If you guys didn't see in the beginning, I am doing a frontal series, so I'm going to be doing many videos as far as like a different detailed instructions on how to create and customize your frontal wig, your frontal, and like all that good stuff. So starting out, you want to make sure that you are sectioning off the baby hair section of the frontal, and then you're going to pluck in like a sequence form. So I like to do them about 1/2 inches away from each other. So I like to go ahead and probably do about I'll say 10 plucks, or between 6 to 10 plucks on each section. You don't really want to do too much because you don't want to have it too thin, but you want to have it thin enough that it looks like a natural hairline. And it all depends on your client or your hairline. Everyone's hairline is different. I wouldn't really say I had the fullest hairline, but I wouldn't say I had the most thin hairline. I really just have like a ton of baby hairs on my hairline, so that's pretty much just what I'm going to recreate here. So I just like to go in about 1/2 inch sections, just plucking in those areas. And I'll do about 4 rows, just doing the same technique in all of those areas. Now, as you can see, the hairline is starting to look a little bit more thin, but we're not done plucking. We're probably going to go in, well, we are going to go in a little bit more, but now I'm just going to move on to the top of the hair. So this section is a little bit thicker than the edges. Usually you have a lot more hair on the top of your head than you do on your edges section. So this part, I'm not really going to pluck as much, but we're pretty much just going to do the same thing, do about 1/2 inch sections and then pluck a little bit, about 6 to 10 plucks, and then pull. I like to just pull a little bit on the hair, not too tight or not too hard because you don't want to rip the hair out, but I just like to get the hair that I plucked out of the way, and then I'll just keep moving and you just want to do the same thing. And don't worry, I kind of over bleached my frontal, but I'm gonna have a video on that. I purposely did that so that I can show you guys how to fix that, but yeah, I just didn't do it in this part of the video, but I'm going to be doing it in another video of how to fix that mistake. So I like to work on a frontal that is wet. It's just a little bit easier and then allows me to see where I need to pluck, where I kind of need to stop plucking and all that good stuff. and I just wanted to see if I needed to pluck any more, and I pretty much don't. So now I'm just picking out the baby hairs. Guys, this baby hair is absolutely serious because it gave me so many troubles when I put it on my actual head, but I'll tell you guys about that later. But this is what it looks like, the plucked side against the unplucked side, and then obviously the plucked side looks so much better. So just going in a little bit of detail about the hair. The hair is from Yolissa Hair Company, and I got a 18-inch frontal. It already came pre-tinted, so that was pretty cool. The only thing that I had to do was pluck the frontal, and one thing that I want to point out is that it's a little bit smaller than the average 13x6 frontal dimensions. Like, I don't know what that was all about, but yeah. And I ended up using 22 inches and 2 bundles of 24 inches, so 3 bundles in total, and the hair type is Brazilian loose deep wave. I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. It's super shiny, it's really soft to the touch, and it's actually really pretty hair. So I know a lot of people usually do their deep waves wet, and I kind of didn't want to do that. I just felt like this hair is not really the hair to just have wet and damp. It just was like a wet dog almost. So instead of wetting the hair, it was pretty weird because once I wand curled it, it pretty much bounced right back to how it was when I took it out the packaging. So I'm just using my curling wand, and I'm just using a set that I got from Amazon. I will link that in the description box below of where I got it from. But I'm just using the smallest barrel, and I'm pretty much just wrapping the hair around the barrel, and then I pull the hair. I don't know what that does, guys, honestly, but I just pull the hair and then I start to lightly section off the hair. You don't want to undo it too much because you don't want too much frizz, but then you do want frizz, like that in between type of thing. So I'm just speeding up this part just to show you guys a little bit extra of what I do. So this is when it starts to become super complicated, guys, like seriously complicated. So I had to put on the frontal off camera because that's how much I was struggling putting on this frontal. This frontal is so small on my head, it makes absolutely no sense, and that says a lot because I have a very small head. So usually when I put on frontals, the frontals are usually bigger than my head and I have to cut it. But this frontal was so small, like I had no idea what was going on. Not only was this frontal super small, but I couldn't even get the frontal all the way to be like on my forehead a little bit. Usually I like to put the frontal a little bit on my forehead so that I can create baby hairs, and it was just way too far back on my hairline. Like the baby hairs was just way too far back. I would have had baby hairs coming out like 3 inches in front of my head. Like it was just not working. And then the baby hairs that I was trying to create was just non-existent, and I was getting so frustrated, and I'm just like, okay, this is a complete fail. I don't know what's going on. So we're gonna need to make this a middle part because these baby hairs are just not working. So pretty much all I did here was just blend in my hairline with some eyeshadow powder. You guys already know, if you watch my videos faithfully, that I like to use the Turlet and Bloom palette in the color Rebel. It has like the perfect warm shade that matches my skin tone perfectly. So I'm just blending that in to my hairline and onto the frontal. I like to let my frontal dry completely before I do this part because you don't want to have it be all caked up and like looking crazy. So definitely make sure your hair is dry before you do this part. At least your frontal is dry from all the Got2b glue that you smack onto your edges. So once it is dry, just put on some eyeshadow powder that matches your skin tone to make it blend in super flawlessly. And that is definitely my trick to making sure that my hairline is nice and blended. So clearly we are not going to be having our hair back because this hairline is a no for us, just absolutely no, which is fine because it just shows you guys that you don't always need baby hairs to blend in with your hairline. Like it's cool, it's whatever. So now I'm just sectioning off the hair in 2 parts, and I'm going to be teasing the hair at the roots because this I kind of regretted not doing 4 bundles because I just felt like the hair was just not full enough to my liking. So I'm just taking my weave brush, and I got this from RPG Show. They usually just put this brush in every single, wig that comes. So I'm just teasing the roots of my hair just to make the hair a lot bigger and fuller because I'm just trying to get this hair that big Beyonce. I'm on my Lance. I'm on my lance tonight, so I'm just trying to get the hair as big as as big as possible, basically. And I'm just doing this until I achieve the most volume. And I'm just going to do that all in the roots, in the back, in the front, you know, and yeah. And guys, that pretty much just concludes the entire tutorial. So even though the frontal, was a fail, it was mainly just to show you guys how easy it is to pluck your frontal. the fail really had nothing to do with like the pluckage. It was mainly just like how small the frontal was. I feel like if the frontal was like, you know, a normal 13x6 measurement, it would have been fine. I would have been able to like show you guys how I put the frontal on, but that clearly was a fail. So I'm not really worried about it because I'm going to be doing like a whole series of this. So the hair itself is gorgeous, but the frontal was just like a no-go for me. So if you guys want to see the rest of my series of like how to bleach your knots, make your wig, construct your wig, and you know, all that stuff, how to even not have to use glue to basically hold your wig down, I will be doing a whole series. So if you guys are excited about that, definitely thumbs up this video. Also turn on that notification button because you guys know, Fairy Gang, we're here all day. And I love you guys always, and bye.
Hey.